Hey everyone, Bernard here, and I hope you're all staying safe and well, and welcome to the Citizen channel as we look back at a hard-fought game at Goodison Park. Yes, in the main hard-fought, we'll talk about that later on, but a couple of the Everton big guys were a bit mardy for me, but hey, there you go. What do you expect at this level of football? Yeah, FA Cup, 6th round, 5:30 p.m. at Goodison Park. Everton 0, Manchester City eventually 2, so absolutely brilliant. Of course, we'll have our little match analysis, match stats, of course, with the Manchester Evening News, Mr. Bukowski's ratings and my own personal ratings. Yeah, 1 or 2 differences today. Of course, we've got Phil Banerjee for the goals. I've been able to get his goal replay, so they'll be dipped into the match highlights. Of course, we'll have our quirky stats. Not many of those today, but we'll have those, whatever they are anyway. And some conclusions about Everton and City, and lots of other bits and pieces as we're going through these. A quick look at Mr. Oliver, the ref, and stuff like that. Please, if you're new to this channel, please push that subscribe button. That'll be absolutely fantastic. We have an international break now. There'll be loads of stuff coming out still on the Citizen channel over the next couple of weeks. Don't worry about that. And I'm nearly, not far off, about 20-odd-ish away from my 800 target. So if you can help me out and get towards that 800 target by the end of March 2021, much appreciated. If you've not already subbed or any City supporting friends, please point them in my direction. That'd be great. And if you do check all the playlists with all the City stuff, you will see some film and TV stuff as well. I have a little film and TV channel. So if you want to have a rest from football, I do sometimes, to be honest with you. It's never ending, is it? And we're not even playing the games, but if you want, please have a look at my film and TV channel. I do movie reviews, TV drama reviews, information vlogs, quizzes, lots of different things on there as well. Or if you know someone who might be interested. But if you're not bothered about it, don't worry, there's loads on football. And if you leave your comments, that's always appreciated. You get loads of comments. Thanks for them. It's great to read some of the good memories as well from things like this, like the old Everton game back in the 1981, stuff like that. Some fantastic memories come around. So please leave your comments. And then you can follow and friend me on Facebook and Twitter as well. I do publish lots of stuff on there, and I do check every 3 or 4 days and follow and friend everyone back on there. And please, if you like what you see and you enjoy it, please just give us a little thumbs up. It won't take us a split second. I try and entertain and inform on these little match reviews, etc. Right, let's get on with it. Let's get to the match. Yeah, the officials, of course, as we know, Michael Oliver was in the hot seat. Assistant, his linos were Lee Betts and, of course, Sean Massey Ellis. Fourth official, Mike Dean. Video assistant referee, he's probably called on a couple of times yesterday, but he behaved himself, didn't he, for a change, Mr. Mariner. He was our VAR guy. An additional video assistant referee, Adrian Holmes, I believe. They've got another guy over there that works at the VAR that doesn't get mentioned, but as he sticks his neb in, apparently. But anyway, that's for another day, another discussion. Yeah, City starting lineup, 6 changes to the Mönchengladbach game. No surprise. I thought there'd be at least that. I think most of us appreciate that now, don't we? So our tales of the unexpected team for this one was Stefan in goal. Yeah, no surprise there. Walker, Diaz, Laporte, Zinchenko, Ferner as captain, Gundogan, Bernardo, Sterling, Foden, and Jesus. Not a bad team. It's very hard not to pick a good team on paper, isn't it? For Pep at the moment. When you look at the subs bench, Edison, Stones, Aguero, Rodri, KDB, Torres, Mendy, Mahrez, Cancelo. So no Ake, no Garcia. Happy days, but hey, there you go. Never mind. I wish Mr. Garcia luck. I shouldn't be so cruel to him, but it was sort of nice not to see him on the bench. But let's get him. Let him go wherever he wants to go and let him get on with his career. That's all I can say. Yeah, I only got 6 right, so that was pretty pathetic, wasn't it? So there you go. As I said, I tried to put Pep's head on. I ended up with, I don't know whose head I had on for that one, but there you go, because it wasn't particularly the team I fancied. I picked in the preview. It's the team I thought Pep had played, but I had Garcia in there. I just went off the wall, a real strange one, but. I did get Stefan Walker, Zinchenko, Ferner, Gundogan and Sterling correct anyway, so not a total disaster. Yeah, pretty much social media, so there wasn't much exciting said, to be honest. I think most people reasonably happy. At AdZMCI or ZMCI, I'm English after all. He wrote, no Cancelo, no De Bruyne, no Mahrez, who's going to create the chances, LMAO. So yeah, I mean, there's a point in there somewhere, isn't there? But as I say, it was a sort of different team. We know probably a different setup. Sam Fisher at Sam F765 just said, haven't really got anything to be annoyed about with that. Shame. So there you go, Sam. Yeah, it was. Yeah, as I say, there was a lack of people showing any real interest in that team or any real bad things about it. Anyway, not necessarily showing interest in it, but it was there to do a job, wasn't it? So let's go on to the match. As I said, I've got Phil Banerjee's little comments for when the 2 goals pop up anyway, and they'll obviously later on I'll give you Phil's player ratings as well as mine and Simon Bukowski's as well. Match summation, here we go. First 45 minutes. Didn't have much to write about this one, did we really? 14 minutes was the first action for of course, the inexperienced keeper, wasn't it? He did okay on the day. We perhaps should have peppered him a little bit earlier because obviously that's when the nerves were probably there. But he collected a cross at his feet, didn't he, that came out on 14 minutes, and that was the most action he saw quite early doors. 17 minutes, Sterling was straight at him. I mean, you're going to fire straight at a keeper unless he's an absolute numpty. He's going to save him, isn't he? But Sterling looked keen, but straight at him from distance. 19 minutes, yeah, Richarlison had that sort of overhead kick. It never really seemed to be a look as though it's going to worry Stefan at all, but just over the bar. And 21 minutes, of course, he was handed off by Fernandinho, didn't he? He got his Academy Award for going down like, well, as I put on here, nothing worse than these big guys who roll about like mad asses, to be honest with you. And Richarlison's one of those guys for me. I've no time for big players, like big guys like that. He's got some talent, and just that's one of the reasons I don't particularly like him. And I'll say that now. I just think he's a big Mary Ellen. So yeah, I think he should have got his award on the pitch there. Yeah, I think Ferner did hand him off. I don't think he did anything too bad. You just get up, mate. Just get up and get on with it. 29 minutes. Sterling was keen, wanted to take a free kick. He looked, as I said, he wanted to be involved in everything, Sterling, but unfortunately he just didn't have the prowess to pull things off, unfortunately. He shot well over from that one on 29 minutes. And 44 minutes, yeah, we could have easily been struggling. I mean, Everton were getting a few corners and we didn't look comfortable again. I think we do miss stones from corners, to be honest with you, and we looked a bit hesitant against Everton's height. And a glancing header in the box. Obviously, Zinchenko was near the back post. I don't think it was going in, but he was there to clear it. So it was a little bit of a worry before half-time. Half-time, I did say Everton, I think most people would agree, would be happy with that performance, and they actually looked more like scoring than City, unfortunately, in that first half, and we would certainly, I've wrote down here, would need to improve vastly for the second half. The inexperienced keeper had not been tested, although, as I said, I think Sterling was keen as mustard, but just didn't quite have the quality to see it throughout this game, did he, unfortunately? So that was half-time, 0-0. Not great, but not the end of the world, obviously. 49 minutes again, Sterling. There's a lot of little comments on Sterling on here. Well over with another shot. 54 minutes, yeah, he's not really picked up on by many people. I think the commentators commented at the time, but Gundo put a through ball through to Zinchenko and he sort of just gave up on it. I have no idea why he stopped. It looked as though he could have got it quite easily. He was sort of more or less through with a bit of space as well. I just don't know. Perhaps he misjudged where it was going, but surely you'd never give up like that. I was very unimpressed with Zinchenko with that one. I don't know. He certainly wasn't offside, and the flag never went up, so I don't know what happened with that. I'm sure Pep would have had a word or play that back to him and ask him what the hell he was doing. 58 minutes, further fouls. Richarlison needlessly gets booked, doesn't he? And this is it. I mean, we know with further we get, all right. He's sort of, that's what he does. I mean, but sometimes he does it correctly, and sometimes he does it when you think, why have you done it? But perhaps he knows something we don't know. But there you go. And that from that free kick, I mean, he did actually have a good chance. Didn't I think it fell to Richarlison again, who hits it wide. But yeah, Ferner, just rein it in, mate. I mean, fantastic. I love the guy, and you'll see later on. But yeah, I'm not too sure what was happening there. So it was fairly needless. I think he could have just jockeyed Richarlison, but you know Richarlison's going to go down like a lump of coal, and a sack of coal anyway. 58 minutes, good work by Ferner. This again, well, there was a lot of that yesterday that you sort of didn't notice a lot of it. But Sterling slightly mishits it, isn't he? And it's saved by the keeper round post. Good save. If Sterling had put a better foot through it, would it have gone in? It probably would have gone over, to be honest with you. But yeah, that was some great work from the back. And Everton were looking a bit dodgy then from players breaking from deep for City. So that was a sign of what was to come, obviously, later on. Well, great work by Fern again. Sterling almost saved his day with that one, but not quite. 64 minutes, Mahrez came on, Bernardo went off. So not because he was playing badly, I don't think. He did a lot of work in that, certainly in the first half, Bernardo, but probably a reasonable choice. 66 minutes, Foden was wide from distance. Yeah, perhaps should have done a little bit better. 79 minutes, of course, a lot changed when KDB came on. KDB came on 79 minutes. 83 minutes, Foden from 22 yards. A comfortable save by the keeper. And finally, we go over to Phil in the 84th minute. Laporte broke forward from deep and square to De Bruyne, who was brought down just outside the box. The ball broke loose. All credit to Oliver. Carried on. Ball broke loose. Laporte's shot hit the bar. I think the keeper got a tip to it. I think he got a fingertip to it. And Gundogan, of course, stooped to head in the rebound. Again, could have easily been headed wide or over, couldn't it? So 1-0 Q celebrations, says Phil. So Everton was sort of totally, Everton, I think, were totally dumbfounded again by the run from deep. I think it happened earlier on, but it caused them all sorts of confusion. And let's face it, when KDB got it on the edge of the box, he just panicked. So that led to the goal. Well done, KDB. 89 minutes, Rodri on. Gundogan off. 90 minutes, yes, over to Phil again at last. We sealed it. We sealed the deal, didn't we? De Bruyne, who injected fresh vigour into the City attack, made it 2-0. Mina went to head the ball. Yeah, big lad Mina. More on him in a moment. Jesus raised his boot but pulled it away. The Colombian headed it, but only as far as Rodri, and he released De Bruyne, who raced away. I think Miles was offside, but he had the common sense to get out of the way. De Bruyne raced away from Godfrey and smashed the ball into net to make the game safe. It was a clever touch to hold off Godfrey and a very good finish to beat the advancing keeper. Yeah, I mean, fantastic by KDB, 2-0. Yeah, Everton were whinging and whining about the foot up to Mina. Another big lad, yeah, a bit like Richarlison, but he backed out of it. Simple as that. Perhaps these big, tough, gritty Evertonians like Mina and Richarlison have a little tea party after the game with little cupcakes and stuff. I'm not too sure, but they want to man up just a little bit. But there you go, Mina and Richarlison, sort of just get on with it. Get on with the game, you big lads. 94 minutes, another chance. Furner just hit it wide. It would have been a bit unfair, I think, on Everton to be a 3-0 victory, but Furner was wide on that. So full-time 2-0. Yeah, ref watch. Yeah, Oliver said it was okay, but he was letting some tackles go that perhaps he should have pulled up. But yeah, I'm not going to give him a standard 6. I'll just give him a 5 out of 10. I wasn't overly impressed with Oliver. He did things right, he did things wrong. I'm just not overly impressed with Oliver. Full stop. Match stats, yeah. Shots Everton 10 with 2 on target. Shots for City 15 with 6 on target. Possession, City has 75% of the possession. Passes 225 by Everton, 667. Just one more than 666 for City. Completions, 66% for Everton, very, very low, and 89% for City. Not great. I think it was 91% a lot earlier, but it did drop a little bit. Corners, 4 for Everton, 6 for City. I thought there was more for Everton, to be honest with you. It just felt like that, didn't it? It was certainly far more dangerous than we were. Fouls, 12 by Everton and 8 by City. Right, player ratings, Mr. Pekowski. My starting score for this one, yeah, I'm only going to start at 6. I'm going to just give my players a starting score of 6. So they did better, they'll get more. If they did worse, they'll probably get less. But again, I'm being kind these days. I'm not going to give anyone less than a 6, although there were 1 or 2 players who perhaps might have just dipped under that 6 mark. I am going to give 6 as my standard thing as a team effort, which I think this was today eventually. Right, on with Mikowski's analysis, and then I'll just add my little bits at the end. Stefan started with great composure, but was fortunate that Laporte stayed calm in the first half when he flew out of his goal and missed a chance. Yeah, he's given him a 6. Yeah, I will give him a 6. He possibly could have got under a 6, but he was far too eager. He comes out needlessly. I mean, I know Ederson does it, but he's obviously got credit in the bank, hasn't he, Ederson? But I think Stefan does it too much. There was certainly one where there was no way he had to come out. The defender had it covered. All he had to do was stay near his 18-yard box and collect a back pass. But yeah, so I will give him the standard, but I'm not overly impressed with Stefan at the moment. I've seen him obviously a handful of times now. I'm not overly impressed, but he'll improve hopefully as he gets more confidence. Walker, an intelligent performance, using experience to keep his flank quiet. He looked happier when Mahrez came on to take up the space in front of him. Yeah, I thought he did okay. Simon's given him a 7. Yeah, I'll give him a 6.5. I thought he was quite competent, and I didn't do too much wrong yesterday in what he had to do. So I'll do that. Diaz, Richarlison, Calvert-Lewin were really tough to play against. Diaz organised well and made sure City's lack of pace wasn't exposed. So yeah, he's given him a 7. Again, steady. Diaz played really well, I think, at the back there, 6.5. Missed his mate Stones, unfortunately, so I'll give him a 6.5. Laporte prefers the ball on the floor rather than the aerial bombardment he was subjected to. We did look a little bit suspect. He wasn't always comfortable. It's good enough on a difficult evening and surprise role in the goal. Yeah, it was. So he's given him an 8. I mean, he's been very generous today, Simon. I've given him a 7. I give him 1 more than the average. Much better when his inner John Stones was engaged, wasn't it? So he must be watching John Stones when he's not playing. Zinchenko, important header away from danger. Yeah, probably going wide, but he did what he had to do. When Richarlison's header glanced towards goal, a useful attacking option as well. Yeah, I thought he played okay. Yeah, again, I'll give him half a point more than the average. Apart from that little not asked moment for Gundogan's pass, but I'll forgive him that. Simon's given him a 7, I'll give him a 6.5. Ferner, a clinic in how to boss a game from the base of midfield, reading every move Everton made, whilst also powering forward in possession whenever space opened up. He's given him a 9, Simon. Yeah, it's a good score, but I'm going to give him my highest as well, but I'm not going to go as high as a 9. I don't think City deserved a 9 yesterday for that performance overall, so I'll give him a good 8, good solid 8. Very good, but as I said, not sure why he needlessly gave the booking away, but there you go. That's Ferner, isn't it, for me? That's Ferner all over, I suppose, now as he's getting a little bit older as well. But he did that when he was younger, didn't he? So there's no difference. Gundogan worked himself into some promising positions, but his radar was a bit off for much of the game, prompting too many attacks to break down in the right place when it mattered, though. So, yeah, he was. He scored the goal. I'll give him half a point extra for the goal. I don't think he was fantastic again yesterday, but as he said, right place, right time. So Simon's given him a 7. I'll give him 6.5. Bernardo, a few promising moments on the flank, but struggled to weave away through the Everton defence and was the first to be replaced. Yeah, so he's given a standard 6. Yeah, I'm not going to go over 6 for Bernardo. Certainly won't give him less. I thought he played pretty well and he sort of wasn't utilised properly for me in that game, to be honest with you. So I'll give him a 6. Simon give him a 6. Sterling, he looked sharper than anyone. He certainly did on his first start since the derby and pushed the Everton keeper closer than anybody before the goal came after he had been taken off. So Simon's given him a 7. I think I'm going to give him 6. Yeah, he was as keen as mustard, but he was like a little kid with it. His exuberance was far too much, and he just sort of snatched at everything, in my opinion. As I say, it would have been great if that goal had gone in, and he didn't do too bad with it. But yeah, I'm only going to give Sterling a 6. You know, all the running about and then all the joy and sheer pleasure. I mean, he must at least 4 or 5 attempts over the bar yesterday. Foden, too honest for his own good with the first half penalty. Yeah, half and half, wasn't it? But one of the players that troubled Everton the most. So he's given him a 7. Yeah, I'm going to give him half a point more. Again, I don't think we fully utilised his skills in that certainly the first half and the second half. So I'll give him a 6.5. Simon give him a 7. Jesus, excellent at winning the ball back, but unfortunately kept giving it away in the first place. He did. An industrious performance, but not a particularly threatening one. Yeah, so Simon's given him a 6. Yeah, I'll stick with 6. He was very sloppy at times, even though he was keen again. Oh, you know, him and Sterling were like kids playing football for the first time, weren't they? But yeah, I will give him the 6. I won't, but again, potentially could have had a little bit less than that. Subs, Mahrez for Bernardo on 64 minutes. Made a difference the way the team shifted, even if he didn't see much of the ball. Yeah, I think he worried Everton. I think that helps us create a bit more space elsewhere. Simon's given him a 7. Like I said, I'll give him a 6. I don't give the subs a 6 unless they do something a little bit more exceptional, so, you know, more than the standard. So I'll give him a 6. De Bruyne, and this is where it comes into play. For Sterling on 80 minutes, he was only on, 10 minutes plus, critical part in the first goal, then gets his own. So Simon's given him an 8. I don't disagree with that. I'm going to give him a 7, which is a point more than standard because he just changed the game basically. Him and Mahrez to some extent, but certainly KDB when he came on. Rodri was on for Gundogan on 89 minutes, but a bit too late to mark. Phil Banerjee's ratings. Here we go. Just have a flick through those. Stefan 7, Walker 7, Diaz 8, Laporte 8, Zinchenko 8, Bernardo 7, Mahrez 7 for his cameo. Fernandinho a 9, yeah, so he agrees with me. On the man of the match, there we go, give it away. Gundogan a 7, Rodri came on 90 minutes, not applicable. Foden an 8, Jesus a 7, Sterling a 6, yeah, well, not too different to me, is it really? Is obviously his base is a little bit different to mine. KDB not applicable. Well, yeah, I would have certainly give KDB, but I agree with the principal Phil there, but I would, as I said, I wouldn't normally have scored KDB for the amount of time he came on, but I think he was so influential. Yeah, my Citizen man of the match, yeah, of course, Fernandinho, wasn't it? Absolutely everywhere. His positioning, his energy was superb. He's still got it. Surely he's got another season in him. Perhaps that'll be a season too far. Who knows? But on most of us think we perhaps let David go a little season too early. But he wanted to go, so there's nothing you can do. If Werner wants to go, let him go. If he wants to stay, I'd keep him at the moment. But I'll forgive him that booking. Yeah, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, can you? No, obviously it usually works for him. But yeah, I mean, definitely my man of the match for most people's, and certainly Phil Banerjee agreed. I think Simon Pekowski had him as his man of the match as well. So I'm not bucking the trend there. On to the quirky stats. Here you go. We say not much today. Up to Joe. Ilkay Gundogan has scored 12 goals in 2021, more than any other Premier League player in all competitions. Well done, mate. The Gundalorian is back. That was his first headed goal for City since December 2018 against Crystal Palace. Yeah, it wasn't a bad header, was it? At least he got it in the right place. That's all that matters. Manchester City have reached the FA Cup semi-final in 3 consecutive seasons for the first time since the 1931, 32, 32, 33 and 33, 34 season. No, I wasn't there, so don't start. Stats City, Aymeric Laporte is making his 100th start for City today, or made his 100th start. Well done. In all competitions, City have reached a cup semi-final for the 7th season in a row and for the 12th time in their last 13 campaigns. We used to crave them, didn't we? Absolutely unbelievable stuff. Shame we can't be there. Well, I don't think we can we? We're not sure yet, are we? Man City are currently on their longest ever winning run against Everton, 7 matches now. Their longest such run before this was 4 matches between 1970 and 72. There you go. Not much on the headline front that interested me. The Guardian was a nice header, though. The Mozart of pragmatic intervention. Fernandinho keeps City ticking over. So I think they had him. That just appealed to me, that headline. The Mozart of pragmatic intervention. There you go. A bit of a mouthful, though. It's not like the Gundalorian, is it? But there you go. Fernandinho keeps City ticking over. So I thought I'd just mention that one. Yeah, Ancelotti. Well, a lot of, as you'd expect from the guy. We are disappointed, but we have no regrets. We competed well against the best team in the world in this moment. Okay, certainly got the best, I think one of the best squads. I'm not 100% sure about the best team. We'll see, won't we? We'll see on that one. Yeah, conclusions. Here we go. Everton. Yeah, they played a good, tight game. Certainly restricting City's chances. Certainly with that, they're playing a lot of 5 at the back. I'm not sure, and they did look for most of the game the more likely to score, especially from set pieces where I thought we'd improved a little bit, but we did look a bit shaky yesterday. As I said, I'm not a big Richarlison fan. He's okay. I wouldn't want him at City. I don't think he's good enough, to be honest with you. I just don't like him as a person. Sometimes players, if I don't like him as a person, I don't want him at my team. Harry Kane. There you go. I said another one. I'm not. They even tried to do a Cheltenham, didn't they, Everton, as well, with the long throws. I mean, obviously, but hey, listen, if something works against a club, you go for it. All credit to Ancelotti. But they did lack a little bit of quality there, didn't they? A little calmness, perhaps, as well, near goal. And thankfully, it all ended, their stubbornness ended by Pep just tweaking things a little bit. Obviously, the Mahrez addition, and then on KDB, and the fact that we had players running from deep, and that totally confused Everton. So, and it was late in the game when they were possibly tiring. Even all the commentators were saying City weren't playing well enough to tire Everton this time. But there you go. So it did take a couple of things to. Certainly, the first goal, as I say, by the second goal, they were pushing forward themselves, and it was probably pretty much all over them, and they didn't get an equaliser. I mean, they're far from the finished article, of course, they're not, and there's certainly a work in progress. Has Ancelotti got the energy to spend another 3, 4, 5 years getting the squad to compete at the very highest level? I mean, he's only 61, he's only a month older than me. I thought he was older. No disrespect, I'm not saying I look fresh-faced and stuff, but I thought he was a little bit older than that, looking at him. But so he should be all right. He certainly should be all right for a few years, and obviously, but will it be the same old, where he sort of he gets some good gritty performances, but they never quite go on to that next level, isn't it? Do they? But yeah, I'd probably go for the same old. I think he's a great manager, but then again, he's got the base, hasn't he? There is a big but, and there's a big but in a moment on City as well. But he has the base to build from, and given the backing, which I think he's being given, isn't he? And he can add a little bit of silkiness to that grit, and perhaps get some of the bigger guys behaving like big guys as well. And you'll get that. That's never been lacking, has it, in an Everton team? Occasionally they'll frustrate their own fans, but that toughness has never been lacking from Everton team. And I think Ancelotti, if he can add 2 or 3 more silky players to it, will make a big difference to that. But I'm just thinking we're going to get more of the old Everton. They've got a ground move potential, haven't they, and stuff like that. So we'll see. We'll see. At the moment, I think the jury's out on just whether they'll ever, if you like, become a top 6. Certainly no reason to believe they will at the moment, and no reason to believe they won't just be like Everton that they have been for the last few seasons, just up there, thereabouts, but not quite. But there you go. As for City, well done Everton. Anyway, you played a good game yesterday. Well done. I was quite impressed. You played to your strengths, and that's all that matters. So yeah, I think your fans should be proud of them. City, yeah, I don't tempt fate, and I'm going to say things here, then I'm going to put a little big but on it as well. KDB looks as though he's come back somewhere at last near his best. I know he's not played that many games since he's come back. I mean, obviously the Q word that everyone's going on about is a million miles away. But more games that he plays in, the more key games KDB plays in and keeps fit, I think we've got more of a chance. With no City games for 2 weeks, I was a bit surprised he didn't start from the beginning. I had him in my team, obviously. And if you add on to people like Mahrez and Stones, I thought they perhaps should have started from the beginning as well. Because what are we saving them for? I mean, all right, are we saving them for their international duty? I'm not too sure. So why he didn't do that yesterday, I've sort of no idea. We got through. It was far from comfortable. And in my opinion, yes, and this is before my big but, there is a time to change 6 or 7 players. I'm not quite sure. Yesterday was 1. I think he should have probably changed 3 or 4. But, and it is a big but, please forgive me, don't get on to me now. Pep's plan worked yesterday. Of course it did, and he appeared, although most of us would have been clamouring like we usually do for subs at half-time, etc., when things aren't working out. That doesn't faze old Pep, does it? Obviously, I would like to see KDB earlier, but it looks as though he timed it to perfection yesterday, didn't he? So we have to acknowledge that Pep will always not play his best 11 based on form. Although I'm sure I heard a few months ago he said he would, but there you go. I mean, things change, don't they? So he's never going to play his best 11. He's going to play the team that he thinks will do the job to beat the team in front of him. Pep was always he's got a fully fit, talented squad now, and it's great skill messing that with that, isn't it? And getting it to its peak. He's got a well-paid squad, and he uses them to the full. No matter what other fans say, at the end of the day, other teams have the option of doing that. They do get money. You know, City don't earn anything more and above anybody else. So you know, other teams should live and learn, and perhaps their owners shouldn't be taking cash, using them as cash cows, stuff like that. But there you go. Yeah, I mean, he uses his squad to the full. But another thing that obviously, unless they make a bad mistake and he drops them for a while, I mean, I'm just thinking Zinchenko as well as an example of that, where obviously you do know they fall out of favour with Pep, and but Pep's back in favour. Zinchenko's back in favour now, isn't it? And I thought Sterling's going to be a similar sort of thing, where he had a real spring in his step yesterday, I thought. But this over-exuberance didn't quite equate to his best game. But I think Pep would have been happy with that, even though, he didn't have his greatest game. And the similar thing with Jesus, I think Pep would have been really happy with that commitment and that exuberance. Perhaps it just needs, something else on top of it. But, I think Pep will be happy without that. But there you go. We all like to wonder, don't we? We all like to have a moan. We all like to have a wonder at the tales of the unexpected, and that's what we're getting at the moment. Because it doesn't always come off, does it? It doesn't always come off. But all we can do, perhaps, is sit back. Yes, occasionally groan, and why not? Let's have a groan. We're not. At the end of the day, I'm not a happy clapper. But I'm not a down in the depths. I'll have a groan and a moan and think, oh, what are you doing that for? But all we can do is really just marvel at what Pep has done to our little old city, haven't we? And just let the detractors fall over themselves to have a good whinge, which I'm not going to mention names, and I certainly don't watch them, but you do hear these things on social media anyway. So let's enjoy it, and let's enjoy more tales of the unexpected. I'm sure there'll be plenty of those to come between now and the end of the season. The draw for the semis at half-time of the United-Leicester game, I believe. So obviously, if you're watching this before then, if you're watching it after it, you'll know who we've got. So there you go. Thanks for joining. I'll be back with of course, a preview in a couple of weeks of the Leicester game, so that's about 11 or 12 days with the preview of the Leicester game. There will be loads of City stuff on the City channel. There's loads of stuff there already, of course, but there'll be there's just horrible histories there on a game against West Ham United back in 1970. So seek that out. That's a bit of fun there with a watch along as well, a past game watch along as well in that one. And of course, I'll have that was the week that was. It usually covers 2 games, but with there being such a big gap, I'll have a special on Everton plus some wild card sort of football City questions as well thrown in, just as a little sit, rather than wait till after the next Leicester game, which is far too long. You would have forgotten everything about the Everton game, wouldn't you, by then? I'll do a little special over the next 2 or 3 days on that, so keep your eyes out for that. And of course, there'll be loads of stuff coming out over the international break as well for your little City fix. Or if you want a film and TV fix, have a look at that. Anyway, thanks for joining me for this little look back at Everton 0, Manchester City 2 as we march on to another trip to Wembley, another FA Cup semi-final. Whatever you do with your state, have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your families. More importantly, let's all look after each other till we meet here again on the Citizen channel, or perhaps you have a flick across to my film and TV channel. All I ever ask is please stay safe, Blues. Come on, City. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.